Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I'll let Usher explain that to y'all.
Chill, y'all better get a chair for this one because Usher's mom, Johnetta Patton, just stepped into the chat and put Diddy on blast for molesting Usher when he was only 14 and putting him in the hospital. Not only did Usher end up in the hospital fighting for his life, but medical records also prove that he was infected with STDs, which people believe that Diddy gave him after having multiple freak-off sessions together. What's even crazier about this story is that Diddy's ex-wife Kim Porter was gonna spill the tea about all this in her tell-all book, but just before she finished up with the book, Diddy found out and unalived her. Apparently, Johnetta wanted to tell us everything a while ago, but she didn't do it because she was just as scared of Diddy taking out her life like he did to Kim. Okay, so as most of y'all already know, this ain't the first time these types of allegations about Diddy touching Usher inappropriately have come up. However, people have been doing a lot of digging recently because of how everything that Diddy has been getting accused of has been coming up, and baby, the receipts are more than enough for him to be thrown in jail. Now y'all probably wondering how the hell Usher even ended up in Diddy's hands at such a young age in the first place. Well, when Usher was just 14 years old, L.A. Reid introduced him to Diddy. After a few conversations, Diddy agreed to take Usher under his wing and mentor him into becoming a superstar. At the time, Diddy was running a mentorship camp called Puffy Flavor Camp, where he mentored a bunch of young artists into becoming superstars. Some of these artists included Mary J. Blige, Lil' Kim, and many others. So at just the age of 14, Usher moved all the way to New York to live with Diddy. And in case y'all are wondering if he was living in the same house that these freak-off parties happened in, you definitely guessed right, because it was the exact same house. This means Usher saw everything Diddy was doing and even participated at only 14 years old. In fact, Usher himself later admitted in an interview that Diddy exposed him to some bizarre things that he had no business being involved in at that age.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor
some...
Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried.
Jodeci,
And your parents were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige, they didn't know nothing about this.
Oh.
I was having a good time, you know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 in the morning with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
When he was asked if he would ever allow any of his kids to go to Diddy's Flavor Camp for mentoring, he said no.
Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
See?
I don't know about y'all, but the fact that Usher was so quick to say no really speaks volumes for me. Because if he was just mentored into becoming a star, then why wouldn't he want the same for his kids? As if that ain't bad enough, there was also a video that went viral of Diddy slipping up and revealing the time that he and 14-year-old Usher would sleep together on the same bed every night. But he quickly caught himself and backtracked.
That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like, check this out. I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. And now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And I'm
What the f did Puff just say?
But it gets even worse because people dug up an old interview that Usher had with Essence magazine back in 2005, and he had some very interesting things to say. According to the article, Usher was super chill during the whole interview until he was asked about the things that happened while he was studying at Diddy's house. Usher revealed that the things he went through in that house were really bad, and that he will only ever talk about it when he's ready to write a tell-all book. He said, I want to save some ish for my book one day. I'll put it this way, there was a lot of X. Now when Usher said he was planning to write a book, I got a little scared because we all know what happens to people who attempt to write a book about Diddy. Erica Kennedy wrote a book about Diddy and she was found dead in her home a few months later. Kim Porter was also writing a book about him and was found dead too. And while we're on the topic of Kim Porter's book, I want to tell y'all about a very disturbing email from one of the publishers who was helping in writing the book that just went viral online. According to the publisher, Kim's book went into detail about how Diddy used to force Usher into getting intimate with him and even infecting Usher, who was still just 14 years old at the time, with an STD. The email also revealed that Usher's mom wasn't aware that Usher was being manhandled by Diddy in freaky ways until she found out her son was in the hospital with an STD. She reportedly went off on Diddy and they had a very explosive fight about it. The email read, "Some of the things in the book cover Diddy's gay relationships, footage of those encounters, the men he slept with, STDs, Diddy giving Usher an STD, and the explosive encounter between Diddy and Usher's mom." Now, in case y'all are wondering the exact STD Diddy infected Usher with, well, I think we might have an idea. Because back in 2017, Usher was sued by a woman who claimed he infected her with herpes. According to her, Usher exposed her to herpes during their encounters, and that he didn't tell her that he had been diagnosed with herpes in 2009. She claimed she tested positive after experiencing symptoms and reading online reports about Usher's alleged diagnosis. What's even more disturbing is that Usher isn't the only minor that Diddy has been accused of grooming. It's been alleged for years now that Justin Bieber was also a victim of Diddy. Just like Usher, Justin was 15 when he started hanging out with 40-year-old Diddy. Diddy was even out here promising Justin a Ferrari when he turned 16 and a home mansion when he turned 18.
As soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So, every time you come to LA. Then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay, I get the mansion?
Yeah.
From the video, you can clearly see Justin was confused and very nervous as to why this grown man who he barely knows is willing to throw millions at him for nothing. After this, Justin stopped hanging out with Diddy, but they later met up in the studio and Justin looked really scared after Diddy asked him why he stopped hanging out with him. He was shaking and stuttering the whole time.
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
Now going back to Usher, Diddy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal, who has been relentlessly exposing Diddy for years now, recently revealed in an interview with Art of Dialogue that Mace and Usher know way more about Diddy than they're revealing, because they used to live with him and saw some really wild stuff.
Man, it's a lot of stuff that Mace and Usher know that they ain't telling about Diddy. There's a lot of stuff that they know. Can you imagine, bruh? Can you really imagine?
What you mean by Usher, though?
Usher used to stay with Diddy, too, when he was younger.
According to Gene, Diddy was doing crazy things with Usher, and at one point, they had to rush Usher to the hospital. He even went as far as to naming the exact hospital that Usher was rushed to.
Puff and Usher did have a situation, and that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now, I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. Let Usher mama explain that to you. And the hospital was in Scarsdale, New York.
But Gene was not done with Usher just yet. He also put Usher on blast for not speaking up against Diddy and allowing him to get away with the things that he's done despite knowing the kind of person that Diddy is. He said he acknowledges the fact that Usher is a victim, but doesn't respect the fact that Usher has decided to remain quiet and continue to speak highly of Diddy, knowing everything he knows.
But how dare you say a man that grew you, you gonna give him a pass? And a lot of more people know. Didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp. Y'all put it together.
And what you mean by Diddy count?
Remember? He was on one of the talk shows. The white guy with the curly hair. What's his name? The white guy with the curly hair. And he said, yo, would you send your son to Diddy camp? And Usher said, no. Ask him why he won't send him to Diddy camp. But yet and still you praise him.
Damn, man, and you said that, I know you can't go into detail, but you said that it was a situation where Diddy sent him to the hospital?
Let Usher explain that to you.
Chow, Gene kind of made some very good points with that, because Usher has been really quiet ever since Diddy's been getting exposed. It's unclear if he ever plans to say something, but for now, it seemed real unlikely. Now, going back to Usher's mom, there have also been reports that the reason why she allowed Diddy to take him in was because at the time, Usher was suffering from some serious vocal issues, and a lot of labels didn't have any interest in signing him because of it. Diddy was the only one who was down to take him, so she didn't have a choice but to trust Diddy, since he was the only one that they had in their corner. Diddy was well aware of this predicament that Usher was in and decided to take advantage of the entire situation and completely mess Usher up.
Remember, Usher went to stay with Puffy. Now that was a business decision right there, because I didn't know Puffy. I didn't know him.
Now, even though people are here for Usher's mom speaking out now, they still called her out for allowing her son to go with Diddy with no supervision, with some people even accusing her of selling her son for money and fame. One person said, she sold her son. As a mother, I would never ever open my child to predators. She's not stupid. She's like the parents of the children who sent their children to Neverland Ranch. She said she didn't know Diddy, but let her son go? And why wouldn't she go with her son? She's responsible. Another person said she didn't know Diddy, but she allowed Usher, a minor, to live with a grown-ass man. Usher's mom should be ashamed of herself. Usher was sacrificed to make her rich. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about Usher's mom speaking out now and threatening to sue Diddy? And do y'all think she really knew what Diddy was doing to her son? Y'all been knew what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.